Welcome back, you wonderful lot, to SevTech Ages of the Sky. Today we're going to be getting a little bit better experience with immersive engineering. I decided not to do solar towers after looking at the resource requirements and the fact we only need a bucket or two of steam. So I thought we'd go with a boiler instead. It's much cheaper to actually build. It's just iron sheet metal. I really should cover that up in the floor, but I'll show you what's down there in a minute. It's just a setup for water from before. Heavy engineering block 4 times and a redstone engineering block. So it should be relatively easy to actually craft this. Just change that over. Yes, and we've got inputs, I think, at either end. And then we've got an output on top as far as steam's concerned. So I think we're going to go make a tank for that in a minute. But to feed water in, I did what we've previously done, which is to put a redstone engine with a wooden fluid pipe extracting from a well bucket. And this has got 4 water sources around it, so a really easy way to get lots of water. Not that we'll need lots of water, I don't think, just to get ourselves into a new age, because that's what this point of this episode is going to be, getting into the next age. And to do that, let's just first of all hook up the water, and hopefully that is the water input. We'll see and see. Water, well, it's certainly doing stuff there. Hopefully that is where the water's supposed to be, but we'll see. And we're also going to want some diesel. Now, these cobblestone pipes, they have problems like this. It's trying to output one fluid in one direction and a different fluid in a different direction, and it's having issues. So right now, just because I'm just doing this manually, I can just swap these tanks over and it'll work. But we do need a better solution for that going forward, and that's absolutely fine for us. However, I'm just going to grab a bucket here. Is that diesel? It is diesel, and I think we can use the diesel in here. Is there an actual input? There doesn't appear to be an input. I can just drop it in there. Yeah. Okay, and that's clearly using the diesel up, and it's changing it into steam, which is exactly what we actually want. And we're going to go from there. Now, we're going to need to just grab that back out of that, and that's okay. I think we should just be able to... These stone ladder blocks, sometimes I have problems where you can climb them fast, sometimes you climb them slow. We need a better solution. I want elevators from, I forget which mod it's from, but I want the elevators you can sneak to just go up and down a floor. That would be amazing, please. But before we get there, we're going to have to do some other things. First of all, glass for some tanks, or a couple of tanks, just so I can basically move stuff around. Yeah, a couple of tanks should do us fine. And that should get us the steam we actually need, I think, for the advancement. Where is it here? Yep, so you grab a bucket of steam to complete the advancement, and then it's on into chemical mixing. So let's just get the steam out of the way, which will be really simple with the resources we've already got. So hopefully it's going to output there. You'd expect steam to be at the top, which it appears to have emptied, which means I should be able to grab, as weird as this sounds, a bucket of steam. I was expecting this to turn upside down, like the whole liquid glowstone, is it? Or it's one of the actual one of the things you can put in. But for the moment, that's fine. We've got some liquid steam. Now, what's the next thing on our list to do? We need modular machinery and a chemical mixer. Allows you to mix naphtha and steam to create propene, and that's a prerequisite for plastic. So we want a chemical mixer and we want a liquid processor, as that produces liquid plastic. And do we just and then we need a molder for modular machinery, so we're going to need quite a few modular machinery stuff. Fine. Is there an actual book for modular machinery? Modular, let's see what pops up. And there's quite a lot. Yeah, there's quite a lot of different things that pops up. Let me just have a quick look and see what we can build. No need for a book, I've done it again. No need for a book, all the recipes are in GEI for us to actually get to, and that's pretty much meaning we're going to need something very specific. We're going to need a lot of aluminium. Let's see, do I have aluminium around here? Bauxite, aluminium clusters, there we go. So a lot of that, a lot of iron. I've processed all the iron already. I'm going to need to go and find another iron island, and then a lot of redstone. It's 1 to 1 to 1, I think, recipe for all of them. Modularium itself, with the casings, are the main things we actually need, and that's just basically this, which is an ingot each. So it's basically 8 ingots for 2 casings. And let's just look at the chemical mixer. So the chemical mixer is one of the smaller actually options in modular machinery, but if we have a look here, there's a blueprint. That's fine, but you can have a look at the structure preview here as well. So there's a machine controller, which is that block, and then if you just changed top-down view, you can see these blocks, and one of these is essentially the controller from memory. Oh, or it should be. Oh, it's the next block up. That's fine. So, yeah, that is, it says unfamiliar item. It's because there's various different sizes of inputs and outputs. So there's basically an energy input block. There is 2 fluid input blocks and an item output, I think. Is that item output? Fluid output. Okay. So 2 fluid inputs and 1 fluid output. It's a mixer, so I guess that's fine. And then that's that. So we need 8 from the top. We need 5 for the middle, so that's 13, and then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then there's probably going to be more involved. So lots of these are going to be, it's going to be like probably 80 or so of whatever we actually make. So even for that first machine. So what I'm going to do is, after this is finished, it's just finished up now making blocks of glass, and there will be a tank in here going away, but that's perfectly fine because we want ingots, not blocks, I think. And we can just go and make that. So we can just go mix modularium in here. So 1, 2, and 3. Well, that should be that's really fast for aluminium. There we go. And we'll just do the same thing with iron and with redstone, and we'll see how much that brings us. But we should be fine for modularium then. And then go and basically construct our first modular machine. Is the machine controller... normally this is the block that tends to be annoying. Yes. So a redstone alloy, LVY coil, and a circuit board. I've already made the circuit board, so that's fine. And what we can probably do is rob that machine controller and move it between machines. So I may not even need to make more than one circuit board as it happens, but we'll see about that once I've made some of this other stuff. Redstone alloying gear is perfectly fine. It's just redstone alloy ingot, and I think I already have some of that, unless I've used it up to make plates for the redstone engineering block. I may have done that. Yeah, I've already made one, so that's probably I've used them up. I'll have to make some more, but that's again just another alloying process, and away we go. See what I mean about this being slow sometimes and sometimes being perfectly fast? Because I can move around here pretty quickly, and then yeah, I want a better solution. And just finishing that up with a couple of metal barrels, and we've got 2 of the tiny fluid input hatches. We can already make the small ones, but I'm just going for tiny to see if we can actually get away with it. And I've got some machine casings. I think we're going to need a little bit more, so let's just make a couple more. I think I need 19. And then we're going to decide where to place it. So if we're going to have steam and diesel, probably about here is going to be good. The energy input hatch is going to be at the back, so we'll line it up roughly with where... well, it's right in the center of the machines at the moment. I'll reroute that later to be further back. So let's just put the front facing us, and we'll go from there. So that should be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then is it the? Let's just take a look at the chemical mixer. Chemical mixer. And go to the flat version. Yeah, it's going to be the energy input at the back, so that's going to go there. Cool. And then we've got the next one up to do. Flat, so inputs on bottom left and right middle. So fine, bottom left, right middle. The output's going to be on that side. This middle is actually completely hollow. We don't need to actually finish that part. Controller can go in there. I think the rest is just casings, so let's build that up. Casings, and then casings on the top. Okay, it's changed, which means it's working, so that's fine. We may need to actually craft the machine blueprint, I think. Yep, so we need to do that to be able to make it work, but that is going to be quite straightforward. Assuming that I have any coal coke remaining. I think I do actually have in block form hemp rope, blue type, powder, and a stick, so I'll go and craft that off camera. Should be easy. One blueprint crafted, pop that in place, and it basically is a chemical mixer now. So all we need to really do is input some fluids into one side and the other. Now, what it actually wants us to make for the achievement, it says naphtha and steam. So can we just bucket it in? There's the naphtha. So if I can just, it looks like I can bucket you in, which means I should also be able to bucket the steam in to the other to the other port, of course, and that should be good there. And then we obviously just want some energy plugging into this, so we'll just do something temporary for the the back here. Yes, so let's just get rid of that. There we go. Get rid of, well, oh, I set the wrong thing. Yeah, I'll fix that later. Water sigil, I don't want to do that. I want to actually have a light. Thank you. Okay, so moving along, let's just get this routed around and connected up. And with the connection hooked up, we've got the process going on, and that should then make it available at the output, which we can then grab. Do I have a spare tank? I do, just so we can keep whatever the output gives us. And grab there, and that's the propene. So the propene is the next achievement, and then we need to go for the liquid processor. Now, how bad are you to build liquid processor? Well, the blueprint's easy enough. Water bucket, paper, and some blue dye. And again, 3x3x3. And are you significantly different? No. So I may be having some kind of sneaky plan here, just to convert this thing over without any problem. And it's hollow all the way down the middle. So yeah, that's fine. I'm going to convert that over, I think. Okay, so it's converted across, and let's put the blueprint in, and let's see whether this will actually work with some liquid propene. Are you going to work? It says no matching recipe. Oh, hang on. The progress. Good. Do be careful when you're doing this to make sure your fluid output hatch, when you're converting across, is actually empty of the previous fluid. So it has problems otherwise when you reform the block. But other than that, that should be fine. So we now got plastic on the output. We have got plastic on the output. So I'm going to need another tank. In fact, let me just actually process all the propane across. Just dump that all in, and that should just change over into plastic. Yes, this is all a bit manual, but don't worry, we'll get there. We can grab the plastic on the output and put that there. So that takes us all the way to the next to last thing, which is basically a plastic molder. So molder. So we need the blueprint. We need to go and create that. That's easy enough. Is there anything special in here? It is an energy input hatch, and it is that just going to be, one's probably going to be fluid, and this one should probably be an item output. I would have thought. Small item output. So I don't have any one of those. Otherwise, again, I can just convert this across to get us to age 4. And there we have 2 more buckets of plastic for us to finish. And is that finished? It's empty. Good. So we can now reform the block yet again. There we go. 1 plastic molder, and I've got the blueprint. Yep. So that's everything it should need. And then we should be able to get plastic out of this thing. So I'll just put this into the fluid input, and yep, it's processing. So we're approaching age 4. Last thing here, just getting plastic sheets out of the item output. So they should appear right here once it's done. And there we go. So are you ready? Yep. Age 4. Welcome to age 4, and that's the last achievement there on the right hand side. And you'll see here are the others I've not done yet. Still no storage or controller, because I kind of want a good system, and I didn't really have a good routing system until maybe now. We can still use the Bullcraft, but we'll see what happens in age 4. Okay, so how much stuff is there in age 4 to get through? Okay, so it looks like we're into Amadron territory down at the bottom. That's usually exchanging for emeralds. The plastic mixer, so a much easier way of getting plastic perhaps, but I'm not sure if you can get the same plastic sheets out of it. It's more for colored plastics for that. Compressed iron, so it's definitely Pneumaticraft. It let's just see, power adapter to move between different types. Enter the end. It locates a stronghold. They're all over the place. You can just see them as you're actually flying around, so that should be easy enough. Ender crafting. Space and heading to the moon is the end of age 4 as far as that side of things is concerned, and tier 1 spacesuit, of course. The full kitchen, so yes, that will help in terms of crafting decent food along with other bits and pieces. Yeah, well, ignore the rest of that. New ore prospector, and what's all the new ores? We have suds quartz, so that's going to be applied in logistics. Oh, and refined storage and applied logistics are in here. Oh, do we go for both of them? Or is one just ridiculously worse than the other in terms of making the stuff? Yeah, anyway, usual inscriber stuff and silicon ore. is in jungle and sunflower plains, and that is in Miniglin or Lush Hills. I don't know what Miniglin is, so Lush Hills I guess I'll go and look for and have a fly around. And then elite crafting table, getting into Manulin. Until now we couldn't really find cobalt and ardite because, well, we couldn't see them. And finally at the top we've got solid dendrite to locate the end easily. Well, we don't need that, but okay, respawning the dragon I guess is the other thing. So yes, having yourself a good shuriken, may I recommend if you haven't already got one, is good. And this isn't good yet. Just to be clear, it's okay, it's unbreakable, it's not good though. So we need to actually swap some stuff out after I get its XP up a little bit further. And I did make a lot more modularium, even though I skipped steps here to make this an easy unlock. Wait a second. Is that Journeymap? It is Journeymap. Oh, good, you get Journeymap. I don't need to carry that book around anymore, or nor do I should I need the death compass anymore. I can just create. Oh, and it auto upgraded all of the points I created. So that's really, really nice. Oh, I'm so happy. A decent map. Look, I can even see the stuff I've created on the map. That's handy. Anyway, yes, that's probably the best thing of doing Age 4. I think you can do it in Age 3 as well, but it was actually hard to craft, if I remember rightly. You had like this this item you had to craft somewhere. I've forgotten. Maybe is it in Age 2? Ah, there it is. It's in Age 2. It's all the Twilight Forest stuff. And I didn't fancy doing all the other bosses of the Twilight Forest. So, yeah, we now have lots of nice little points we can go to go and fly. Does that mean... Oh, is there an angel ring? Please be an angel... Oh, no angel ring? Draft Evangelist. Okay, so that's one of the things you want anyway to increase your living armor. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to go into Blood Magic Alchemy too much, at least not yet. I need to master Blood Orb for a start, which I don't have. Oh no, I do. I have a Magician. Oh, it'll take a Magician as well. That's fine. Okay, so I'm not going to get there. Is there any other creative flight options? Flight, Ring of Ascent. Yeah, that's another Between Lands thing. Loot from chest. It's a random drop chance essentially. Yeah, we'll find another route to creative flight, whether it's astral sorcery or whether it's another way anyway. So we'll see where we go from there. Anyway, Age 4. So I need to go and basically go and explore, go and find new islands, and tidy up a lot of these points I've got now on Journeymap, and maybe change the font underneath the minimap at the top right. It's a little small. Just a thought. I may want that to be bigger. Okay, a bit of research. So H4 storage, unfortunately, auto crafting isn't available. There is both a Planogistics and refined storage, and also one called simple storage that I haven't used before. Simple storage, and it looks fairly simple to actually, as you might imagine, to set up. But aside from the crafting thing for the whole machine case, so we need to do a little bit of work with pneumatic craft to actually get there. So in the meantime, we want something simple to upgrade our existing gold chests, which are now filling up. I went up and explored the bits that I needed to get the 2 new types of ore. I need to do the same in the nether, but you get the idea. And yes, so much so that I'm just filling up on like silicon and all kinds of other stuff. I need basically increased storage. So there is, well, not crate is what we want. There is the Actual Editions small, medium, and large crates, of which the large crates sound ideal. That's going to need a couple of the small crates, well, one small and one medium, it looks like, and the medium takes 2 smalls, so it looks like we're going to need some small crates, which need some wood casing, which needs various bits of wood. So yes, there is a bit of a cost involved in actually getting things started. I did just want to grab some more dark oak or something. It doesn't really much matter which one I'm going to go for here, because wood's going to cease to become a problem very shortly. You're going to see why in a second. But I'm just going to make, let's just say, 6 casings. And we'll get those out of the way. Then we'll get the uses for those up here and there. So that's small crates. I actually want more than that. So what am I short on? It looks like I'm short on chests. I can get a couple more there, and I think I need a lot more chests. Let me just Let me just grab something like dark. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Have I got any more planks? I probably have a little bit more planks, but let's just convert all of these over, because again, I will show you something that will just make wood cease to be an issue. So let's just distribute those. I wish I had the mod that will evenly distribute these across with like a button on the side. I forget what the mod is. People in the comments down below can tell other people about it, but yeah, it's definitely very worthwhile having. It's just not in this pack. So there we go. We've got 4 crates, and that's where I'm out of chests. That should be enough, however, to get up to the next stage of them. So again, press U for uses and see what it actually says as far as crafting grid is concerned. Medium is medium needs a nickel plate. I need to go and make some nickel plate. Anyway, while I'm actually doing that, the other thing we're going to need to make out of the remainder of our wood, and this is worthwhile having. Let me just show you. I mean, these are crates, and you can see just how much storage space it has already. That's the small one. Just to be clear, that's the small one. We're going to get better upgrades than that. So that's out of the way. What we're also going to need then is a framing table. Now, this is for storage drawers. Some packs you have this where it can just be made straight away out of whatever you've got in a certain recipe. But in this case, not so much. You actually have to make the framing table. Framing table, let's just pop it in anywhere for now. Yeah, there we go. Grindstone in the corner still, and you're going to need to make the drawer types and then what types of drawers you have. So if I put one material in the bottom and a different material in the top, I actually might like marble-faced drawers. If you can use non-wood, I'm not sure if you can. We'll see very shortly. So we want the storage drawers themselves. Drawer. Okay, so a frame drawer. You can have the usual kinds of storage drawers. So one stack of a thing, of a type of item. 1x2, so 2 different types of item. And a 2x2. I want at least one of these 2x2s, and that's going to require more chests. I'm running out of wood. I need to sort this problem so that I stop running out of wood. Yes, you'll see why. In fact, let's just do that bit now, because that's easy enough to show. I've been cooking up a few pieces of clay. Yes, well, bricks, I should say. And then I can take those and craft them into bonsai pots. Yes, bonsai pots. And you know what's coming because I've got a hopper in my inventory. We've got hopping bonsai pots. Now, if you don't know what hopping bonsai pots are, let me explain. Trees grow once. You have to chop them down and then you replant them and they grow again. That stops happening when you have bonsai pots. If I just put down a little small storage crate, and let's say I put it, let's just put it down here for now. Put my hopping bonsai pot on the top. And this is not the ideal storage type. This is why we're going into storage drawers, because storage drawers do this. What I actually want here is, it'd be nice if we had apple saplings, but we don't have them. So let's just go across to something useful. Oak saplings or birch. I quite like birch, actually. Yeah, let's go for birch. So if I want to grow birch, I just need some earth. There we go, dirt. Yes, plain and boring. Put the soil type in. Put this in, and off the trees start growing. So similar to cloches, except this needs no power whatsoever. And when it grows, you see it gets to the top 100%, it dumps its contents into the storage below. That's why it's a hopping bonsai pot rather than a regular bonsai pot. However, it can drop any of the kinds of things that this particular tree drops. So it can drop the wood, it can drop the leaves, it can drop sticks, and in the case of oak, you can also get apples and stuff like that. So, what you get depends on what tree you're growing. And it can do other things as well. You see up there at the top, it's because my UI sets auto, it can really have problems with this particular kind of thing. But we get birch wood and we get sticks. Fair enough. Free, it just works in the background. You don't have to do anything. It's great. However, it's even better when you combine it with storage drawers. So here I have 4 2x2 drawers, and let's go and see if this will actually work in the table. So let's pop them in. Yep, so that will have an outside that is marble and an inside that is dark oak. I actually wanted the other way around. There we go. So you can see what's on the inside. So let me just grab one of those, and then we're just going to swap one thing for the other thing. So if that's going to break, that's no problem. and in it goes. I'm not sure if I want those. Maybe something more yellowish like limestone rather than that. I've got plenty of limestone, so let's just swap that over and grab one of you. How do you look? Are you better? Yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of more natural. And you could have used birch as well, and that would work perfectly well as the front of the drawers. So again, this is very much as like a styling thing. I do like this versus the original thing, which is just, hey, you want oak drawers or do you want birch drawers? No customization at all. However, you can see already stuff has started to pop in here. So if I fill these up with things, you'll see this starts to populate. Now, there are some trees that drop more than 4 things. The useful thing about that is that those 4 things, often some of them are useless, like you might not want the leaves. So what you can do is fill up these with other things, and you can even limit that even further here by just either crafting 1x2 drawer or 1x1 drawer, and you'll just get just birch wood and nothing else. So very, very handy thing to have. I like them a lot on all Skyblock packs because they're just free resource generation once you actually get to them. Of course, in this pack, you've got to get through a few ages to actually get there, but otherwise they're great. So use them at free will, basically. It does require us to craft more and more hoppers, however, and the hopper recipe is still not any better. It is still bronze gears and iron plates and chests and stuff like that. So yes, plenty of stuff to go. Anyway, back to crafting the large basically upgrade for our gold chests. And a bit of nickel casting later, we have 2 of the large storage crates. So the ones I tend to need this for are probably going to be dusts and probably going to be ores. So I'll pop you down there and there. We can always move them later. And yeah, so there are now 3 pages of this max size thing. I'm not sure if the shift click to sort stuff is going to actually work above 3 pages, but again, it may even be a little time before I actually are able to fill it enough for it to actually matter. So yeah, everything is pretty nice there. I'm quite happy with those, as it just saves me having extra chests all over the place. And the good news is that both Applied Logistics and Refined Storage, and presumably Simple Storage, although I don't know the mod, will be able to access these crates, basically. So for very specific stuff like wood, you would use your drawer controller. We haven't built a drawer controller yet, but we'd use a drawer controller, and that would be kind of like deep storage. So you'd use a 1x1, so just one item type, like iron ingots, for example, would be in there. And then there'll be a storage bus on that for Applied Logistics, and you could use that for deep storage on a high priority, or you could just have general storage like this, which you just dump stuff into, and it's all good. So yes, very happy with all of that so far. I'm going to move all my storage across for those items, and then I can craft more of these storage crates as the wood supply starts to swell from many many hopping bonsai pots. You can use them for all kinds of things, so plants in generally, but we also have the cloches too, so cloches are kind of good as well. So yeah, mix of the both, up to you. Also in Age 4, we have elevators. Yes, remember last episode I was complaining about having to use... is this full now? Oh, it is full. Oh my, I've got to get rid of stuff. Yes, elevators. I've got to get wool, and the many sheep I have, or at least a few sheep I have, whatever you want to call that, are going to be shorn because I want elevators and stop using that ladder anymore. Unfortunately, the sheep still actually give me fleece and not the regular wool. I think there's a way around that with Rancher or whatever it is in Industrial Foregoing. Is it Rancher? It's one of them. Is that... I can't remember if that's the one it is, but it's basically it will then harvest the full wool from them. I think I read a tips thread that was doing that kind of thing. So yeah, maybe. However, in the meantime, we can always convert this across. Unfortunately, it is like 4-to-1 conversion with wicker, but wicker is just sugarcane, and that ceases to become a problem. You will also need. Yes, ender pearls, and that is kind of an expensive thing, I realise, but for me the quality of life, and I've got 3 more ender dust, the quality of life is so good, so improved over something like this, that I just consider it vital, so I'm just going to go and craft those. And I have just about enough to just fill exactly 2 rings of white wool, which gets me 2 elevators, and that, it should be that. So let's just drop down here. I'll leave it in the same place for now. We can also move it into the center of the thing, but it helps to align yourself to a wall when you use these. And there we need to go up. Let's just get rid of that trapdoor. You are no longer needed, although I never really close it anyway. And I'm just going to erase those in a minute. But in the meantime, and down and up. Oh, that's so nice. It's just so nice. And we're just going to get rid of these because I don't really like those having them in the walls. They were just necessary, and now they're not, and everything is amazing. Okay, I will just need a few more planks, but that's perfectly okay. Let's get some there and put those back in the walls. So yes, I'm very happy now. And of course, as you add more floors, you can basically add more elevators. I think you're allowed a few blocks in between, so you can have a solid looking floor or ceiling, but you still go up and down with the elevators. So that's very good. That's another upgrade we want as part of Age 4. More to come.
And I decided to add some more power in place. This is more appropriate for the last age rather than this one, but it does actually, well, should actually work just fine. I did mention this last episode how you have this set up. So you have a diagonal along the middle here, and in that diagonal you've got liquid starlight. I've just left that covered up, but it's along all of the grey sort of stone blocks underneath. And underneath where you've got this, you've got a thermoelectric generator. On top of that, you've got an LV capacitor with the input side set to down, the output side set to up. Each of those are then hooked to a relay. Relay goes up to the ceiling, that goes along that way. It's not hooked to the rest yet because I just wanted to add the lava, and let's see what the recharge rate is like on the capacitors. So let's just do that a little bit. Let me just get rid of, in fact, hang on, I'll just make a couple of buckets of lava. So I'm just going to put them in the back first because it's more dangerous to step into lava than it is liquid starlight, which is quite safe. So yeah, that's just a thing. And what you really want to do is just have one thing that's really hot on one side and one thing that's really cold on the other, and then you're going to start generating power, which is exactly, of course, what we want. So let's just take a look now. There we go. So now they have some, yeah, you can see that's already charging. They have some heat on one side, and these ones already should be charging. These ones will not yet. The only space that I've left that should be filled with lava that isn't is just because I ran out of room, is this block underneath here, because it interferes with the waterfall if I try and rearrange the blocks. Otherwise it'll be perfectly fine, I'm sure. So we'll just put in some more lava there and there. This has just come from the nether, so well, I could even put down lava source blocks from blood magic, to be honest. It's just that I had this spare, so you know, why waste life points when you don't need to? So that's perfectly fine. And they can all be covered up now with stone, and they're just a passive form of power. They don't ever use up that lava, which is quite nice, and they just sit there nicely producing power for us. So that is good there. And of course, it neatens up quite well. That's about the neatest I can actually get it, at least with my skills. I'm sure some of you may be able to do it better, but that's fine. And that's charging up, that's fifth charged, and that's over half charged in that time period. So I don't need to use necessarily insulated cable for this, so I'm just, because it's along the ceiling, I'll just hook everything up together, and then that should make sure that this thing can actually continue to produce crude oil, which it probably is. I'm not sure if I'm actually processing it. I've got full oil over here, full diesel and naphtha over here. I do need to think about how to extract two different liquids from one port and how to sort that. So, we don't have Ender IO yet, do we? No, of course not. That would be cheating. Multiple liquids in one conduit. We do, however, have some new type of transport pipes. So if you have a look at pipe, yes, there's Buildcraft ones. Or we've been using that, but new in this age, there's some other ones. So there's inductive logistics, so fluid transport pipe, and yep, so that's fine, but it can only pass on its contents to one output. Not exactly what I wanted, unless it actually cycles through them, which is fine, I suppose. And we've also got cyclic, which has fluid pipe, and I haven't used cyclic before, so I may well actually try that. It's not terribly expensive. It's a little bit of gold, some brick stairs, which is just bricks, which is just clay, of course. It reminds me of another another mod. That icon has been used before, I'm almost sure. With retrievers in there. Do we have any retrievers? No. Yeah. Oh well. Yes, but that we have used before. So let's just look at cyclic stuff then. So cyclic. And we should see all of them hopefully together. Are they in here? Yes, they are. There they are. So you have fluid extraction cable, fluid pipe, and then the same for energy, the same for items. So I'll probably just add those to favorites. And let's see what they actually take to craft. Weighted pressure plate heavy, which is 2 iron plates, and the dropper, which is just cobble and redstone. So yeah, why don't we try those out and see if we can sort out into 2 tanks rather than Buildcraft's sort of cobblestone fluid pipe, which clearly can't deal with it. Maybe the upgraded versions of fluid pipe in Buildcraft can, but I thought I'd try a new mod. Okay, let's give it a try. So we've got a fluid extraction cable and fluid pipe. So there's the extraction and there is the pipe. So will you sort yourselves out without any problems? That looks like it's filling the naphtha fine. So it's transferring 1 liquid at once, it looks like. And this one is not yet filling, but let's see what the internal is like. If it empties them both, that's fine. It's dealt with the naphtha, but the diesel is still missing, which is interesting, but again at the same time I'm not sure that's exactly what I want. Let me just actually relight everything so that you can see. There we go. Yeah, still not dealt with it. So if I put you here, yeah, so it's got a second path that it can actually then go and take the diesel along. So again, I'm not sure whether that's going to be useful unless it can do both at once, but we'll have to see. It may not be able to do that without just disconnecting and reconnecting. We'll see. I'm looking for a better pipe system anyway, but I thought I would give it a try. No harm. I think the easiest option here is to use Immersive Engineering's fluid router, or router if you're American. And let's just put them on like this, I think. Just move them up a little bit. And then we've got room at the bottom to do, again, this fluid extraction pipe. And let's see whether this actually works. So fluid extraction pipe. And that looks like it's then feeding outwards. If you right-click on the fluid extraction cable, you can change the transfer rate. And you can add an ignore list and an accept list and stuff like that if you want to. But by default, it's on and pulling. So south is going to be diesel. That's that way. So if I just get a bucket of each, I should be able to add this to the router. Sorry, I'm English. I know my pronunciations are going to be different. So south is going to be diesel and north is going to be naphtha. So will you then start routing liquids to your relevant bucket or to your relevant tank? Okay, that should be on. Let me just... Do I want to turn those on or off? Doesn't seem to make any difference. Nothing seems to be happening. So yeah, that's not... Let me just actually go back to my good old trusty cobblestone fluid pipe, then I can see what's being output. So there's diesel. Okay, diesel is being output by the machine. And are you actually outputting it into the tank? You are. Good. Yes. So these broken, or at least not working, maybe because they're extraction. If I just put a fluid pipe, well, will you work? If I just don't try to extract, because it auto outputs, and just put a fluid pipe on, are you going to be able to deal with that as well? Now I can't tell which liquid it's outputting, and this tank is full. Let me just go and put this some of this diesel away in over here. One thing, by the way, on that setup for the lava, and I may have to remove them, I'm not sure yet, is this. Yeah, we keep on getting well, lava monsters, and I'm not sure I particularly want lava monsters in here because there's enough lava around, lava source blocks, for them to actually spawn. If I can find a way around that, cool. Otherwise, they keep on spawning underneath the floor, and yeah, I'm looking for an anti-spawn item for my particular base that isn't just light-based. Actually, is there like a torch of something or other? Like it's like a huge torch from memory. This is a long time ago. Last time I actually looked at that. I'm gonna have to look for anti-spawning items. But yeah, we have an ender tether now as well, so that's actually quite nice. Tether, yeah. ender tether. So if we don't want our friend Endermen to get away, we can use an unstable ender pearl, some obsidian, and wrestling torch, ender tether. So stop them from getting away. But that's fine. Let me just actually dump this into my diesel gen, and then I'll just get rid of that and then produce more steam. That's fine. So are you now still outputting? I don't see it moving. I don't see you moving. Right, I'm going to just give up on those and just use plain old trusty cobblestone fluid pipes. And we have enough quartz now to move up to the next tier of that. So, and that is filling this tank on this side. So that actually is working quite well, and I don't need to do anything else. The fluid router works well, just not necessarily these fluid pipes with cyclic. Anyway, moving on. And unfortunately, I think we've run out of time today. I'm going to be doing some more miscellaneous upgrades in the background because of Age 4. We've got a whole bunch of stuff we can move to now. The reason why I just reformed this and didn't do a full setup is just to get us into Age 4 for some other things. Some other things you might want to look at in the background is stuff like advanced generators. You can basically gas turbine and steam turbine generators. That's a different way of generating power. You can also go for diesel generators specifically. Whoops, diesel generators. Let's see if it shows up explicitly. It doesn't, but it is blocks basically just like this. So yep, you can do a diesel generator, and we biodiesel. Pretty much, we're going to be creating it from plants if we use that. So yeah, there's plenty of power generation options. And then, of course, I'm just going to off-camera build up the machines that I sort of cannibalized to actually get us to molten plastic. Not that we need a huge amount of molten plastic, actual normal plastic, that is, now that it's done. But it's useful having the full setup anyway, so I need a lot more modularium and build that up into the different ones. So that's the the chemical mixer, the liquid processor, and then this one, I think, which is the molder, plastic molder. Yes, so there's 3 machines there. There is also, and very usefully, a generic mixer blueprint. Mixer, let's just go for Mark 1. This thing looks like almost identical to the chemical mixer. There's just a slight difference in terms of fluid inputs. And the uses of that, it's hard to actually see here, but let me just show you one of them. Paper recipe in this age, we can just go with industrial drying units, so same kind of modular machinery. And then the mixer is, I think you can use for stuff like so when we did leather previously, we had to do it with that horrible stair tank that's just very, very manual. You can also do those with industrial drying units, and I think there's other recipes as well that let us do dough. Is it going to be dough? Yeah, that dough is in one of the recipes for the mixer. We can look at other recipes as well. So dough, salted hides, wet tanned hides, pulp, which is then dried into paper with the industrial drying unit, and rice dough and chocolate. So yes, rather than having to have your little stir pot and your drying racks, you can actually have machines do it for you, which is it's interesting. And no, they're starting to throw fireballs. I'm gonna have to shut down that lava for now. That's such a shame. Maybe post the solution below, and we'll see if we can find a good solution for it. I kind of like passive generation. Yeah, I'm going to have to find a way to stop them spawning. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, guys, as always. Feel free to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Click on the bell if you want notifications. And, of course, like and comment to help your fellow players improve. Otherwise, see you next time.